Hello guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you some books in my library which are basically reference books that I use for my Wehrmacht collecting. I collect German Wehrmacht items of the Third Reich period, and these are some books that have helped me in my collecting field, and I thought you might be interested in have a look at what I actually use. And some of these books are quite useful if you yourself are maybe thinking of starting a Wehrmacht collection. I know a lot of new collectors use the internet these days. There's a lot of information on the internet suitable for all sorts of militaria collections. But anyhow, these are the books that I have found useful over the past few years, and I thought we'd just have a quick look at them. The first ones are basic, cheap Osprey books, and they're very suitable if you have just begun collecting or if you have a interest in the subject. And they're just handy little booklets. They're quite cheap, you can buy them brand new or on the internet. They have quite a lot of detailed photographs and illustrations in them. And this one here is about the German Stahlhelm, so you got some full color photographs there. And it gives you a basic history about the helmet, the construction, the liners, the chin straps, the decals and everything else. So that's a very good introductory booklet. Same with German military badges. Again, we got another Osprey book here, German battle insignia. Again, has a wealth of illustrations in it and the basic information. So if you, as I say, just beginning to have an interest in the subject, these books will give you a quick insight into the collecting field. And again, as you can see, I have all these photographs here of the actual combat badges and the soldiers wearing them in use. And likewise, we got German combat equipment. Again, a useful little item here if you're thinking of collecting German militaria. Osprey do a series of various booklets for all the Allied soldiers, armies, as well as the Axis. So if you have an interest in American or British World War II soldiers collecting, you'll find a useful book for that. Anyhow, as I say, I collect Third Reich items, and if you have an interest in starting collecting Third Reich items, I would highly recommend this book here. It's quite an old book. It came out in the late 1980s. It was reprinted in the early 1990s, but it still holds up very nicely now, even 40 years after it was published. Again, it has quite a lot of information in it, quite a lot of photographs here. It has all the information that a beginner will need. It has a series of price lists in it, but they are very, very out of date, so I would ignore that. These books are still very easily available on the likes of eBay, and I would certainly recommend this particular book here. It has various sections, so it has orders and decorations, so you got your Iron Crosses, your combat awards and the like. You got daggers, like the Army Hair daggers and the Hitler Youth daggers. You got headgear, so you're talking about helmets there, peak caps and the like, tunics, and miscellaneous militaria. And again, it's all backed up with a lot of photographs here, a lot of details about what to look for, condition-wise, how to collect, how to display your collections, availability, maker marks and the like here. So it's quite a handy book here, as I say. And as you can see, it has quite a lot of information. And I find this book very useful even nowadays. As I say, it came out in the late 1970s, 1987 it came out. And I've got the 1992 edition here. So if you ignore the price list in the book, all the rest will be very useful. It also has maker marks, RZM numbers and the like, so it's quite a handy tome. I started off collecting German militaria insignia, and this book here helped me in that regard. Again, it's an old book. I believe this book came out in the late 1960s, 1968. This one is a 1975 edition. It's an American book, but again, it's quite easily available on the likes of the internet nowadays. And it is crammed full of insignia, badges, and the like. So you got some war badges for the Navy here, for example. It gives the details of the various badges. We've got Luftwaffe. Again, you got the badges, and you got all these vintage photographs. You got the Army and SS. So as I say, if you have an interest in German insignia, this is a very good resource, and still very useful nowadays, even though it's coming up to 60 years old. And as you can see, it has quite a lot of illustrations, quite a lot of information in it. If you become a little bit more, I suppose, organized in your collections, or if you're a reenactor, for example, this book is quite a useful item. It's a French book, German Soldiers of World War II. It has full color photographs of French collectors with their collections in various uniforms. This book here came out in the early 1990s, I believe. Again, very useful if you're for example, a reenactor, but it's also very useful if you collect Third Reich items like I do. It shows original gear. The collectors here are wearing their original items. So the uniforms, the badges, the equipment, the weapons are all genuine. They're all original World War II. And it gives you a good impression on what the German soldiers were wearing throughout the war period. And there's quite a lot of auxiliary information about the equipment, about the uniforms. So again, quite a useful item if you have an interest in the German soldier. And lastly, I've got this book here, Deutsche Soldaten. Again, easily available on the internet. I believe these books are getting a little bit pricier now. I've seen these on the internet for about £70, so I got mine for about £20, so I was quite lucky with that. This is a really nice book. Again, suitable if you're a collector of the Third Reich period, or if you're a reenactor. It has, again, full color photographs. It's a modern book. Came out in the early 2000s. Again, it has photographs in it, but it has all these full color photographs of original items of the Third Reich period that would have been used by German soldiers on the front line. So, for example, here we've got Verpflegung, which is food and drink. So it gives you all the different pocket knives they could have used, the types of cutlery used by the Germans, cooking utensils, stoves, the iron rations used by the Wehrmacht. It's a bit limited on decorations. It only has a few photographs of the Iron Cross here, for example, and infantry assault badges. But otherwise, it has a lot of information about documentation, for example, the Wehrpass here, torches here, you got flashlights, cameras. Weapons has a good selection of weapons being used by the Germans at the time, close-up photographs of, again, as I say, original items. Has cooking pots here, water bottles, bread bags. So it's quite a comprehensive guide to the equipment used by German soldiers. Got belt buckles here, boots, uniforms, and the like. So a very good book. As I say, in fact, both of these books are very good if you're a reenactor, as I say, or if you're a collector of the Third Reich period. Very good book on the decorations of the Third Reich, and a very, very good introductory book on the collecting for Third Reich items. So I would certainly recommend that book here. And as I say, these are easy to digest little booklets here for various collecting fields. So anyhow, I'll leave it at that. Hope you enjoy that little video on my reference books. As I say, there's a lot more information on the internet these days, but it's always nice to have a few books in your library which you can take out as and when required. Anyhow, I'll leave it at that. As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.